We'll start with Jeff.
Can we all stand for Hail to the Chief first? No, look, I've found it very frustrating to be able to get my message out, and I think, no, I've got a lot to say, and I've really got a lot of things I want to get across to the public, and that's why I'm really grateful that there's a forum like this tonight, and that there have been a couple of forums, but there haven't been many. And I think that all of us as candidates have been keen to get our message out. There are a lot of issues in Denison. There are a lot of things that the Greens are keen to talk about that are very relevant to Denison. There are a lot of things that I want to talk about, and I want to bring my passion for health, education, environment, and there are a range of things there that I just want to get across, but I haven't had the forum to do it. I've been able to do it when I meet people in the street, but there are 75,000 people in the electorate. I've been knocking on doors out in the street. It is very hard, and I'm wondering if, I have no idea what's going to happen at a national level. I've been just so plugging away doing the best I can. But it's great to have an opportunity to talk. So no, I'd say yes, it's very hard.
All right, Mel, what do you think of the presidential style of this election?
Yeah, it's been frustrating. I think the frustrating part has been about how shallow the debate has been between the two leaders. I mean, you know, just in the past few days, the main thing that we've been hearing about is the debate about the debate. And I mean, there's such strong issues, you know, that we want to be talking about, and they pop up, you know, like they pop up with these forums, and this is, you know, a really great chance to talk to people about it and people to have their say. But I think that, I mean, yeah, in this sort of presidential debate, you just hear sort of, it's so stylised and it's so, you know, it's all about image and it's all about sound bites, that, yeah, it's very difficult to really know about whether the promises these leaders make now, whether they'll carry through on them after the election, and I think that's a very frustrating part about it. And yeah, and I also share Jeff's concerns about how difficult it's been to sort of get out in the local media and get our message across. And I know that I read letters to the editor, people were complaining about having not seen any of us out and about. I mean, we've been out and about, but yeah, I guess we haven't been represented enough through the media. Yeah.
I agree, it's become too presidential, and the solution to that is a difficult one. We, obviously, as local people and members, representatives, we wish to represent you. We want to get out there as much as we can. We use all forums we can, we use all methods we can. I also think that we should be looking at further, not just Julia Gillard and Tony Abbott and Bob Brown, but behind the team. Behind the team, what makes up government, or what makes up opposition, and obviously makes up the whole structure of how it works. Because if you look underneath at what's really going on and who the people are, I think in the Labor Party, obviously I'm biased there, but we have particularly skilled people, and many of them have visited Denison since this campaign. We've had Penny Wong, the Minister for Climate Change. We've had the Treasurer of the country, Wayne Swan. We've had the Minister for Innovation and Research coming down looking at the university and looking at the stuff that's happening at the Menzies Centre. We've had just recently the Minister for Infrastructure and Local Government with Mr Rob Valentine, doing an announcement at Domain 10. All these people were part of it, and I think it'd be better off if we did have more of a debate, maybe in a way that they could come into these types of settings and give many of you people an opportunity to talk to them in a more direct way. And I think there is a way to do that, and that's something in the electorate that I will try and encourage them to come to you, the people.
Sir, you look straight at me.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. Sorry?
Sir, you mentioned all these people that I honestly have not been able to see any of them as kind as they can. They didn't make themselves available after working hours. They did. I had no idea where they were.
Right. Well, that's something we've got to improve, absolutely. And I agree with you. I think we can do this better, absolutely. Ultimately, and I think it's a benefit the whole debate. It benefits the country to see what's going on and to listen and listen to these people. So I'm fully committed to doing that.
Thanks, Jonathan. Andrew.
Oh, look, I just want to say, I think this has been the most vacuous federal election campaign in my memory. try and blame two parties only for that, the Australian Labor Party and the Australian Liberal Party. The behaviour of their leaders has been nothing short of appalling. It's uninspiring. There's been a complete failure of leadership. There's been very little serious discussion of policy. And in fact, I note that the ALP's polling figures have been improving since the ALP stopped releasing serious policy initiatives like your climate change policy and your asylum seeker policy. My experience during this election has been overwhelmingly positive. I have actually found it surprisingly easy to be noticed by people in the community and by the media, and I've had a delightful amount of media attention. And I'll tell you why. Because I'm different. I'm independent. I am not beholden to the political self-interest of any one political party. I'm beholden just to the voters of Denison. And people like that, and they find that really refreshing. And people are stopping me at every turn and saying, hey, good on you, it's glad. It's great we have someone to vote for in Denison. I have been overwhelmed by the number of disenchanted Liberal voters and Labor voters who have voted Liberal and Labor their whole life, and they will not do it at this election. They are clearly people who are disenchanted with party politics. They are very interested in what an independent can achieve. They understand that it is an independent who can work with whoever wins the federal election to provide outcomes for the electorate. It's like I mentioned at my very quick preamble at the start. About Bob Catter's experience up in Queensland and the experience of other independents. I had someone tell me a story just the other day at a fundraiser back during it would have been the Fraser period when we had Kevin Newman as the minister here. We had Senator Jocelyn Newman, both ministers in that government, in the Fraser government. I've got the facts right there. This businessman, he had a problem, he couldn't solve it. He went to two Liberal Party ministers in Tasmania, couldn't get a resolution. He went to Brian Harradine. Brian Harradine listened for a little while, picked up the phone, and Brian Harradine said in his report, "Is that you, Mal?" The problem was solved on the spot. We are entering a new era in Australian politics where smaller parties, third parties, micro parties, independents are threatening to take control of the major party because they have let us down, they continue to let us down. We've had 15 years of Liberal government,
Okay, wrap it up.
Labor government, and we feel let down and people want to change.
I'm John Ward.
Speak into it.
John Ward, and just candidate Jackson raised the issue. It's about presidential style campaigns, but I've been concerned about the corporations. At the moment, Rudd looked like it was getting out of control. The corporations came in, and they, I'm sure, could be shot for this. I'm sure that the AWU worked with the corporations to get him out of their hair. Tobacco corporations came in, and that's what happens in presidential type elections, where the corporations begin to control the agenda. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about your views on that, particularly the Liberal Party now is going to speak. But what's the effect of that on the presidential election?